1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm so glad you're here with me. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, and today, welcome to the Countdown Concerts. I'm Deborah Henson-Conant, also known as Deborah Henson-Conant, also known as DHC. I don't care if you say my name, Deborah or Deborah or Debo, as some of my friends call me. I'm just glad that you're here together with me to celebrate telling stories with music, all the different ways that we do that in the world. So this is a countdown concert to the countdown to the fundraiser that I've been doing for The Golden Cage, the musical that I've been wanting to write my whole life, literally, have finally completed it. We produced it in New York City last year, and now it is on film. You can go see it. I will tell you how to go see it. This is the fundraiser to complete all the costs for that film and also to launch it into the next step. Because while it is a film, like many of the things that I create, which are on film, they're also for other people to perform. So I'll be playing music like a concert. In fact, it is a concert. And I'm also going to be connecting all the different parts of my life and how I connect with you. Because I'm not just a performer. I mean, nobody is just a performer or just an anything. Everything that we do is a way for us to connect with each other, a way for us to embody who we are, a way for us to impart what we know, and a way for us to release what we have created into the world. And one of the things that I've discovered in my life, a life full of stories with music, because that is what moves me, is stories with music. My stories, your stories, all the stories I've heard, all the music that creates stories. I want to connect all of that today. I want to connect The Golden Cage, which is the story I've been trying to tell forever, with the other stories that I've been telling for many, many, many years. Many of you know me just as a harp player. And you may think that is my body, that this is my expressive body. But in fact, my expressive body is stories with music. And the harp, which was something I came to as an adult, has opened up my life because it is the easiest way to tell stories with music, to be able to give my hands a way to sing while my voice is singing, to be able to give my stories the atmosphere, the sense of place, the sense of character, all the time. Being free, like I'm flying, the harp is all that. So I was just lucky that I found the harp, and that the harp has become a platform for how I tell stories with music. But ultimately, I came to this planet to create stories with music for others to tell. I tell them first to try them out. And when I'm playing, it's like I'm saying, this is one way that you might tell this story. This one might pop. One of the things in preparation for the concert is that I asked all of you if there were pieces that you want to hear. And I have a list of those. So I'm going to be looking at those. Also, in the first concert of the day, we had some dropouts. And so I changed my setup a little bit. And hopefully we're not going to have dropouts and you're going to be able to hear me throughout the show. You can also chat to me. So let's see. Oh, goody. Someone's already said hello. That's great. I can actually see that. So you can chat to me. And you can tell me if my voice is, because I shifted everything around, my voice may be too loud or it may be too soft. One of the things I'm not doing right now is I'm not wearing the harp. So I'm experimenting what it's like to keep it static. And I'm going to start with the same. I'm loving this particular song today. I started the last concert and I ended the last concert with this song because I realized that this song epitomizes the story that I want to tell, which is a story of transformation. And why I tell the stories that I tell, because I get stuck. I get stuck in life. And the way for me to get out is sometimes to create a story that helps me navigate my way out of that stuckness. And this story has been one of those. It's a story of a great bird. There's only one bird, only one of these in the whole world. And she flies over all the world. And she is called the Phoenix. And she has a shadow of sunlight. Even in the dark of night, this bird has a shadow of sunlight. Even dark under the ground, this bird has a shadow of sunlight. And if that shadow should fall upon you, your heart and your mind and your imagination will be opened forever. For 1,000 years, the phoenix flies. And when she feels that her time is coming to an end, she flies to the highest peak of the highest mountain. And there, with her last breath, she bursts into flames. Never truly die because she lives within the spirit of humankind. And the spirit comes to that mountain, to the highest mountain peak, where she has taken her last breath, where she has burst into flame, and where her embers barely with light, and the spirit of humankind breathes onto her ashes, and it breathes its life onto her ashes as the moon rises, and it breathes life onto her ashes as the stars turn. And as the very first rays of the morning sunlight light upon the ashes of the phoenix, once again, the phoenix flies. Hello again. Thank you so much. I love it when I get to actually see your chats. Now, I know that I can't always see everybody's chats. I know that if you're on YouTube, I probably can't see what your comments are, but I can see them in some other places. Thank you. Thank you. This is really fun. So I am going to put my harp on. I noticed that while it gives me a certain freedom to have the harp on this stand, there's other freedoms that I don't have. So this will be interesting. So hopefully there were no dropouts in that, but please let me know if there were. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is a piece that I did write to bring myself out of a darkness. And there are many times that I will write music to bring me out of something or to allow me to experience something or to express something that in my, everyday life I don't get to express. And this is also what I teach. In Hip Harp Academy, I am teaching harpists how to learn the fundamentals. And they, all the people in my academy, the hundreds of people around the world who I get to meet with each week, you are teaching me how to discover the fundamentals with all the questions that you ask. So it's exciting to me that I get to embody this work of telling stories with music in an embodied way with a harp. And it's exciting to me that I get to talk about this every week with harpists all over the world who are learning to do this in their own way, at their own level, with their own stories. And at the same time, I'm also getting to release the music so that others release it in like manuscript form. So there's the embodiment of stories with music. There is the imparting of the ability to tell stories with music. And then there is the release of those stories with music so that even when I do something completely different, when people have sheet music or when they have a play, it allows you to be telling my stories with music in your own way. So this is what my life is about. And this is the unified field of my life. And I have it that it's true for everyone, that we are embodying things and we are imparting what we know. We are embodying what we know. We are what we know. We are imparting what we know. We're sharing it with others and learning about it as we do that. And we're releasing what we know. If it's children, we release them out into the world. And if it's music, we release it like publishing. We release it to the world. So our stories come into other people to embody. And this is part of that whole connection of the stories with music coming out of us into others, opening up other people's lives. And this is what I'm celebrating here. In the Golden Cage was an opportunity for me to finally tell a story I've been trying to tell my whole life about two different sides of me. The side that wanted security and the side that wanted freedom, and how they went out into the world. And then I lived that story through the harp and also through feeling stuck in so many ways. And finally, those two characters in the Golden Cage have connected. And it's like I get to start my life as a connected person with those two parts of me connected. And this countdown concert and this fundraiser, it's all about celebrating that connection. The connection to the stories, the connection to you, the connection to seeing those stories that you have too, the connection to seeing you tell the stories that I give you, to seeing you make up your own, to seeing you discover as I discover. And we all get to do that together. That's why I love teaching as well as embodying, as well as releasing. It is a rich way to live. One one of the things that I did as part of this concert, well, of course, there's the fundraiser, and you get to donate and be part of the Golden Cage that way. And I also want to say that one of the things that's happened in the last couple of weeks is that a group of people have gotten together and created a fund that's a matching fund. And that means that whatever you donate, up to $10,000, to the first $10,000, whatever you donate between now and when this fundraiser ends, which is in 12 days, we're starting the countdown now, it will be matched dollar for dollar. So when you see $1 going in, that's 2, and when you see 10 going in, that's 20, and when you put in 100, it becomes 200, and when you put in 1,000, it becomes 2,000. And if you want to be part of that as well, if you want to be part of that group of people who are matching the funding that everybody can see, the visible funding, just let me know. And if a tax deduction is important to you, that can be part of that as well. So we all become part of telling each other's stories. We become the voice, we become the hands, we become part of each other's stories, and we get to have our stories told through each other. It is that connection through stories that moves me in my life, whether I'm telling those stories or the connection within the stories themselves. So in part of this concert, I offered that I can connect you with somebody else by dedicating a specific song for somebody that you would like to hear. So for this concert, Sarah requested something that wasn't even on the list, Sarah, but you knew this. And it's a standard, meaning you may have heard this sung by many, many people. And part of the beauty of a song like this is that it's been released. It is a structure for others to express themselves. So I get to express myself through this song, and Sarah gets to express herself, her love, through me singing all of that connection through this song. My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable. Still, you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? Well, don't change a hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, funny Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable. Still, you're my favorite work of art. it to speak? Are you very smart? Oh, well, don't change a hair for me. Oh, not if you care for me. I say stay, a funny Valentine's Day. 'Cause when you do, every Valentine is every day is Valentine's Day. My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? Don't change your hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, funny Valentine, stay the way you are. Oh, and stay. 'Cause each day with you, each day is Valentine's Day. Each day is Valentine's Day. Even in the middle of May, even on the last day of May, every day is Valentine's Valentine's Day with you. Thank you so much for asking for that, Sarah. It was so fun to sing that. And it's just reminding me, why it is so important to release our work into the world, to share it with others. If the person who wrote that song had never shared that, I wouldn't be able to sing it. You wouldn't be able to request it. But they did, and so we can. And so I get to express myself with that. And because I work so much with other people struggling to express ourselves, as we do that together, I have it that it opens us up as we share that, as we share what we struggle with, as we share our breakthroughs, as we share what we're trying, as we share what we're doing. So when I did this morning's concert, I looked at it afterwards, and I had spent, last night I set this whole studio up, and I looked at it, and like, wait a second, there's like a sock back there, and still there. No, that one is now gone. But did I with you? Can you still hear me? Okay, great. All right, I'm going to put on my glasses. Jump. It's funny. I feel like my voice. Yes, barefoot. Thank you. So I want to just let you know about this fundraiser, because this is the beginning of the countdown. This is day 13, I think, or it's day, yes, it will end at midnight, no, at like 3 a.m. on the 13th. And I just want to make sure that you all know about it. So many of you have already supported this. And it's just so fun. I don't know if you know that there are these great perks that you get. You get there's all different levels. You should go take a look at them because they're really fun. You get journals, or you get it's not the original cast recording, it's the soundtrack, right? You get the soundtrack, which is even better. You get something that was captured live of the Golden Cage. So what you hear in the Golden Cage, you don't hear me singing, you hear my imagination through others. And as a composer, ever since I was a kid, that's how I imagined life. I was like, I want to sit at the back of the theater, and I want to see other people bringing my imagination to life so that I can see it. And I could not figure out how to explain what I wanted. I didn't know how to explain the freedom with which I wanted people to either play or to sing or to speak. And so I became a performer in great part because I didn't know how to put down on paper what I do and what I imagine. So I was like, fine, I'm just going to show people how to do it. And that's what I'm imagining when I'm playing the harp. And the harp is such an incredible instrument because it's right here. My fingers get to sing. It's like flying on the harp. So now I realized, once I started writing out the music, I realized, okay, but wait a second, I've written it out, and still I cannot put on the page what the freedom with which I am imagining this being done. I can't put on the page the sense that I want to see you coming through this music. I can't put on the page what, take this idea, but run with it in a lot of different ways. And that's why I realized that I had to make an academy where I would show people how to get to the fundamentals of pieces so that they could make it their own. So I'm going to play a piece for you now, which is a piece that we're working on right now. And it is called Baroque Flamenco. And it was one of the most requested pieces on this form. I'm just going to see what else was requested. Okay, great. Okay. I played this at my other concert, but I'm going to play it here as well. Because it is such an epitome of simplicity gone wild. I was just teaching this the other day, and I was breaking it down, and I was showing everybody in the academy that there are 3 different parts to this piece. So you're going to see these 3 different parts. And by parts, I mean that they are, I always think of it like a playground where there's different things to play on. And nobody says you have to play on this specific way. It's a thing you play on. It's a swing, and you can swing the way other people swing, but you can also swing in new ways that no one ever thought of. You can stand up and swing. You can jump over the swing. You can climb up the swing. You can swing high. You can swing low. You can swing while singing. You can swing like dancing in the air. So it's just a swing. And in Baroque flamenco, the introduction and the flamenco parts, or the cadenza parts, are like a swing. It's two chords, an E chord and an F chord. It's just those two chords and all the different fun things that you can do with those chords if you pretend that you are a flamenco dancer. So it's also about make-believe, and I'm just realizing this now as I'm speaking to you. I'm realizing I never wanted to leave childhood behind. Okay, many of us are like that. There are many things that were too wonderful to leave behind, like make-believe, like make-believe. Make-believe is that you get to make yourself believe something, and by believing it, you get to experience it and feel it, and by experiencing it and feeling it, others get to experience and feel it. That is make-believe, and these two chords for me are all about Meligania, which I loved as a child, but I wanted more. I wanted to explore them more. So the introduction and the sort of cadenza parts are all based on that. What are they called in a swing set? That particular thing to play on. Then there's another thing to play on, which is the only has two chords. You can add more if you want, but basically it has these two chords. So you have these two chords. Whoop. And then these two chords. They give completely different feelings, and in this song, these chords are like flamenco dancers, and these chords are like Baroque dancers. And then there's a third part, which is just a dancey part, and that is almost like, it reminds me of a sort of little merry-go-round, because it 50% F and G, and then eventually. So that's it. That is like all we have here. We've got that melody, we've got that jungle gym, and we've got that merry-go-round. So let's just say that the, wait a minute, when I touch this, it seems like the sound went away. Okay, anyway, all right, take that away. We've got, let's say we've got the slide, which is the melody. And I don't know why I think that's a slide, but I think it is. And let's say we've got the merry-go-round, which is that kind of dance part. And then let's say this, well, that's obviously the sandbox. Okay, so here we go, starting in the sandbox. There was once such a group of flamenco dancers. Who discovered that their new guitar, which they'd gotten at such a reasonable price, was actually just a time machine. But by the time they discovered that, they were already in the court of Marie Antoinette. She was hosting a ball that night, at which everybody else was dancing the minuet. So the flamenco dancers attempted to fit in. This was the result. It's called Baroque Flamenco. The playground. Thank you. Oh boy, one of the Facebook users is saying, I had the most fun on your Baroque Flamenco challenge. Yes, we haven't done that yet. It is cutting out. All right, I'm so sorry about that. I'm not sure what, can you tell, is there anything that happens when I do it? Like, is it when I'm playing loud or when I'm talking? I'm not sure what that is because I'm using a completely different way. Good. Here's what I tell people. One of the things that we actually do to me sometimes is that I will play gestures without any music. Like I'll play Baroque flamenco. So you can just, so if I happen to cut out, Please just imagine that that's supposed to be that way, and that you should just enjoy the silence and watch the visual music. Oh, interesting. You know what? That's so interesting. I'm experiencing the same thing. Okay, so it's when I get, like, it just cut out. And it just cut out again. That is so weird, because let me just put these antennas up and see if that makes a difference. I mean, literally, the thing that's capturing my voice is like literally right there. So I don't know if it's a battery thing or what. Aha. Okay, so here I am now happening again. It is like happens over here. Okay, well, I will just stay over here. All right. Any questions? Ooh, and I want to jump something. Okay, it just happened again, right? Okay, well, whatever. All right, we'll deal with it. It's actually better than it was last time. So little by little, it improves. All right, so here is a fun thing. So so the golden cage, I know I talk about that all the time. The golden is a story about, and it's something that I'm talking to people all the time about. Now I am like really kind of, what is that all about? Let me pull this over here. Okay, what's that like? Is that, maybe that's going to make a difference. All right. So this experience of getting stuck and getting out of our shells and being pushed. And one of the things that students said to me in the academy the other day, they said, you are doing that to us. You are pushing us into uncomfortable places sometimes so that we can fly. And we all need that. We all need to be pushed off the cliff sometimes so that we can fly. And in the golden cage, that's part of what happens. And you can imagine, you can think about the golden cage, which is the that I've just released. It's now on the Streaming Musicals Network, where you can watch it on demand, watch this whole story. And basically what you're doing is you're coming into my imagination. You just came into my imagination through flamenco. And you can also play Baroque flamenco, which brings my imagination to your imagination and opens up both of our imaginations together. The golden cage is also like that. It's just, instead of being a one-person, which is what I usually get to be. And in fact, I think I told you this already. One of the reasons that I play the harp is because the harp is the storyteller's instrument, is the minstrel's instrument. And there's a reason for that. I mean, look at this. I can speak, I can play my voice. That means there are 9, or what, how many, what, wait, no, 8. But I'm only using 8 of them. There's 8 voices on the ends of my hands, but they have no vocal cords. This is their vocal cord. The harp is the vocal cords of my fingers. And my fingers are the that comes into the harp, so the harp can sing. And when that's the breath that comes in and brings my song alive and brings your song alive through my song. So this is what I'm connecting, what I want to connect today in talking about the golden cage and talking about Hip Harp Academy, where I am imparting this information, and talking about the golden cage, where I have released this story so that others can perform it, and so that others can, even when I'm not there. This is what we do. This is what you do in your life. This is what I do in my life. We get stuck, we tell stories, we find, and then we share that. We share those ways out with others. We show them, hey, you can do this. Hey, you can play on this swing. You can play on this slide. Follow me. Do it your own way. Follow me. And then I will follow you. Where it happens. Every week. When I'm imparting and when you're asking questions, you open up my mind. We do this together. There is no story all alone. There is no music if we're never singing. There is no music if we're not singing. And so I'm singing, and I'm hoping you will sing too. One of the songs that was requested on the request form is such a simple song. And when I do it live for audiences, I ask half of the audience to sing, ah, and the other half of the audience to sing, ah. So together, there's instant harmony. And when we play the whole group, we all play very simply, like this. It's very simple. It starts with one note. That note is A. Then we move out in either direction and back to this A. You could do this on a keyboard. You would find the A note. And if you don't know what it is, just ask someone else or look it up on the internet. Where's the A? And from the A, you go down one and up one, and then down one, and then up one, then back. And you have the heart of this song. And it's from a musical. And the musical is called What the Hell Are You Doing in the Waiting Room for Heaven? And it's a one-person musical, except that everyone in the audience sings. And the song goes like this. You have a voice that's yours alone. This is the tie that binds you deep in the dark of evermore. That's how your soul can find you. There's a reason for these words. When I was little, when I was 8, I would do a kind of game with myself. I would extract everything in the world. First, I would imagine that the whole world was gone and only my town of Eugene, Oregon was there. Just Eugene floating in the air. And then I would imagine Eugene disappeared and only the housing project that I lived in was there. The Amazon housing project, that was all that was there. It was floating in the air. Everything else was gone. And then I would imagine that only the one apartment that I lived in, that's all that was there. And then I would take that away, and only my bedroom was there, floating in the air. That was all that was there. Then I would move that away, and all that was there was my bed, then just my body floating in the air. Then I would take that away, and only my mind was floating there in the air. And then I got scared. Everything else was gone. And And I thought that if everything else was gone, how would I find myself back to myself? How would I know myself? Because I knew that we were hurtling through the air, hundreds of thousands and millions of miles, I don't even know how fast. And what if my voice got lost? What if my mind, what if I got lost? And the rest of everything was shooting away and my body was gone, so I wouldn't be able to recognize myself anymore. How would I find myself? And I would find myself by my voice. I could listen for my voice. You have a voice that's yours alone. This is the tie that binds you to yourself. Deep in the dark of evermore, that's how your soul can find you. So raise your voice, for no one else can give the gift you bring. And this is the sound that turns lost into found when you sing. You have a voice that tells a tale. Nobody else can tell it as well. This is the tale, the song, the story of you. So raise your voice, for no one else can give the gift you bring. And this is the sound that turns lost into found. This sound that turns lost into found. This is the sound that turns lost into found when you sing. You have a voice that's yours alone. This is the tie that binds you deep in the dark of evermore. That's how your soul can find you. Raise your voice, for in the end, it's all you have to bring. And this is the sound that turns lost into found. This is the sound. This is the sound that turns lost into found when you sing. When you sing. When you sing. I'm looking at your comments now. I so love. Okay, I may have a short. I probably do have a short, my friends. I probably have many shorts. But were you able to hear that song? That's what's important. It doesn't matter that it's perfect. It doesn't matter that it comes across perfectly. What matters is that we're able to connect. So I hope you were able to hear that. Well, I'm noticing that people are here, so you're hearing something. So, one of the things that I do all the time in the academy is I ask people, what did you discover? What did you discover? Like, what did you discover in coming here today? So let me ask you that. What did you discover? What's different for you now? What are you thinking about? What are you thinking is now possible for you? What are you, I'm just curious. This was such a simple song, and yet it's so fun to sing and conduct others, and it allows people to sing in harmony without having to learn a whole bunch of things. It's one simple game, simple toy. And that's one of the things that I'm doing in the academy all the time, is taking things down to their fundamentals. And that's one of the things that I noticed about the Golden Cage, that there are all these themes in this show. There are themes that show up in my life over and over and over again. Theme of flying, the experience of flying, the theme of getting stuck, the theme of connecting us. So I'm going to check this again. I'm going to now check and see. And you know what's great about that there's so many concerts today? Is I'm going to be able, oh, wait, there's a whole bunch more comments. I'm sorry. I didn't see all of these. Okay, now I'm going to take a look at them. Oh, yes. Oh, you have a short, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great, beautiful. Check my mouth, Mike. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good, beautiful. Okay, great. Yay, yay. Kathy is saying, I still want to stay, but I have to go. Oh, you will be able to watch this later, and we're going to try to cut it up into little pieces as well to share with it. Thank you so much. Yes, I love the simple chord progression as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. So someone has asked for The Nightingale, and I would love to play that. And that is always my most requested song. And have you noticed how big a part of play in so many of my songs? And it's not that I did have a pet bird. I don't know if that's what it is. I think it's because, is to fly around. That's their job. And I feel, I don't know if you've noticed that one of the things I love about the harp is that it looks like a wing, and the harp has given me wings. It was so hard for me. I started writing musicals when I was a kid. Me to write everything out, and it was so much easier for me to just say, but it's like this, you just play something and you tell a story, and the music becomes part of the story, and you can make it as you go along. So when I was, yes, you can do that. That is the of stories with music. Yeah, I can hear that. I can hear that dropping out again as well. I will definitely fix that before the next show. I don't know what it is. I think it may have something to do with the pack, or maybe the batteries that I bought. Maybe they're not good batteries. Anyway, whatever, we're here. That's all that matters. Oh yeah, so these themes I've noticed as I've put together this concert and put it together as a countdown concert for the fundraising for the Golden Cage. I'm starting to notice all these themes that are present throughout my life. So the theme of birds, of the flight and the freedom, the beauty of being a bird, and also the fact that birds sing, they just sing, and especially, certain kinds of birds. I mean, some birds I'm not going to go into ornithology because I don't know anything about it. I'm just going to say, and have you ever dreamt of flying, and how amazing that is? One of my favorite dreams ever in my life was a dream of a red bird who taught me how to fly. And then there was my mother, who taught me how to sing. not by giving me singing lessons, but by simply singing everything, singing lullabies, singing good morning, singing silly songs, singing beautiful songs. And I'm not saying that my relationship with her was always beautiful, because it certainly wasn't. And I'm still working on that with my therapist. But that doesn't that she, this amazing freedom of loving music, loving to sing, and loving to tell stories with music. So every morning, she would come into my room and she'd whack the pillow on my bed. And these dust motes would fly into the air. And they looked like stars in the sunlight. And I would try to catch those stars. And then she would sing. And in that moment, she was my lark of the morning. And every night, she would put me to sleep with a lullaby. And then she was my nightingale. Who will sing for the nightingale when the night is gone, when the daylight comes? Who will sing for the nightingale when she sleeps alone in the sun? Many's the time her silken tones soothe my rough and weary bones. Many's the time her lullaby took me to my rest. But who will sing for the nightingale? Her own sweet song is silent now. Who will sing for the nightingale when she sleeps alone in the sun? Many's the time her silken tones soothed my rough and weary bones. Many's the time her lullaby took me to my rest. Who will sing for the nightingale? Her own sweet song is silent now. Who will sing for the nightingale when she sleeps alone in the sun? When she sleeps alone in the sun. When I'm playing in live concerts, sometimes at the end of that song, if I don't the heart, the entire remains silent. And that incredible silence is a moment of trust. A moment when we trust that it is okay to just be in that silence. And I have it that anytime we have a moment of trust, even just for a millisecond, whether we're alone or whether we're with others, that changes everything. And I learned that from the Golden Cage. I think that we learn from our own stories. When we tell our own stories, we learn from them. And it has been amazing to finish this, to complete this story that I've spent a lifetime working on. And I have it that each of us has at least a lifetime story that may not have ever been completed. And yet, when it's done, and we can share that story with others, it's like it opens up like a flower in a garden. And that's what's happened for me with the Golden Cage. And why I'm talking about trust is that in the middle of the Golden Cage, there's this beautiful scene where all the music goes away, all the bombast, all the acting goes away, and the two characters almost touch hands, and they sing a very simple song. All my life I've waited for this moment to believe, for the simple pleasure, for the single moment of belief. All my life, all my life, all my life. And I have it that each of us has been waiting all our lives for that moment, and for that moment to return and to return, that moment where we experience trust, even for a split second. Because in that split second, it's not that something grows, but something changes. It's a state change, a state, a way of being. Something opens, and everything that happens after that is inevitable and unimportant. And that's what happens in the Golden Cage. There's that moment of trust. And then everything, almost like everything falls apart. The worst thing that could possibly happen happens, and yet the worst thing that could possibly happen, the lies, the deception, the danger, the foolish things that we do, because of that trust, that split second of trust, everything leads to the transformation that these two characters have always longed for the character in the cage to be free, and for the character outside the cage to be free of longing to find the cage. And we are all stuck inside of something, and we are all looking for that something that we get stuck inside of. And what's been so beautiful about completing this show and putting it out in the world and being able to talk to people about it and having conversations about it and seeing it and talking to my therapist about it is that it's like a that opens up our story, opens up to us as we tell it to others. And this is why I love working with other people who have stories to tell, even if they don't know, even if you don't know that you have a story, you have a story. And the harp is an amazing instrument. You play one note, another note, and you tell a whole story just with those notes. You could just be a breeze on the harp and tell stories that way. And this whole concert series of 3 concerts in one day, and this countdown to this, fundraiser, which is a way to support and be part of a story. This is all about that connection of story and finding out what is at the heart of our own story by telling that story. And now I want to see said here. And one of the things I love doing, and I haven't done it for a while, is to actually sing what you're saying. Let's see if I can do that here. Let's see. Wendy says, so lovely, I'm learning new things as I watch you play and engage in your stories, enjoying how some of the simplistic musical ideas set such a great tone. Yes, a great tone, almost like it's a change of lighting for the stories. It all comes together so dynamically, so big, so beautiful. And I love that can happen. I love that we make something big, without having to hire an entire symphony. I love that. And that is one of the reasons that I love the harp. I was not drawn to the harp as a child. I started playing the harp because I went back to school to learn how to read and write music so I could finish writing The Golden Cage. My school needed a harp player. I'd had a few lessons as a kid, and I became the harp player. And for years, I wondered why harp? I can't play the kind of music that I want to play on the harp. And then I discovered that it opens up so much of flying, of freedom, of connection, of being able to be a musical. And by that I mean to tell stories with music. That's what a musical is. To tell stories with music. Odile says, I can't read this. Tellement jolie. I can. Well, I'm embarrassed. Okay, now going on to the next one. Facebook user says you seem to have a little of the nightingale in all your work. It comes with comfort, hugs, sadness, but it learned how to smile on the wings of birds. I used to watch birds flying silently. I lived on the edge of a bay. I would watch the birds on the other side of the bay. I couldn't not hear them. I would just see them flying silently. And that beautiful silence. And yes, it's true that as I prepared for this concert, I realized, well, I've been telling the same story my whole life. It's all about freedom. It's all about the search. It's all about connection, about flight. And I think we all tell the same stories and long to understand them more. And Facebook user says, seems like you're flying on your mother's wings. She is still there, coaching you from afar. And I have mixed feelings about that, by the way. I love my mother, but we get along so much better now she left the planet. I have to admit that. And it's been wonderful. And I think she would be laughing if she heard me say that. It's been wonderful to find a way to connect. Because for many years, I could not connect with my mother because there was a lot of pain there. And the Nightingale, this song, has allowed me to heal that pain. And every time I sing it, I get to heal that pain. Facebook user says, you carried your mother's song forward. She must have believed in you. I think she did. Reham says, your Nightingale is one of the most heart-wrenching and equally sweet songs I have ever heard. And I want to tell you something about the Nightingale. For years, I refused to play this song because it didn't seem like a song to me, because I could not impress people with it. And so I was like, well, there's nothing here. If I can't impress people, what could possibly be here? And then another harpist, he did not beg me to play it. He threatened me that if I didn't play this tune, that he would kill me. That's actually what he said. And so I was like, okay, I'll play it. And then I remember I wrote it for symphony orchestra as well, and I was playing with a symphony, and the conductor, who I think it was I can't remember his name, Doc Severinsen, I think it was, and he said, get out of the way. Don't do anything with this song. Don't do anything. Get out of the way. Don't try to sing it. Don't try to get it across. Just let the song be there and sing it. And that was so scary for me. And yet it was the beginning. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was the beginning of trust. That song was the beginning of being able to trust a song, to be able to be with it and not feel I had to do something with it, but actually let it be. I never thought about that until just now. And Sophie says, it's French, so I cannot read it. I love the words inspiré pour devenir. I think it means inspired to discover yourself. I don't know, but maybe that's what you said. Thank you for your beautiful comments. And you're right. Facebook user is saying, I enjoy watching your music. It lifts so many beginners. Yes. You know, one of the things that in my life, because my mother was a professional singer, my aunt was a professional singer, and, so I was who were great singers, but I didn't want to sit there and listen to them. I wanted to be part of it. And so they always gave me a part to sing. And that showed me that we all have a part to sing. That showed me that even if you are a little child, even if you only have a harp that just has one string, you have a part to play. That taught me that we all have a belonging in music. We don't have to study to have a place in music. Music is here for all of us. And then I got very interested in becoming a virtue, because it's a lot of fun. But I also discovered that many people now start to play the harp as adults, and I realized I could break it down to the fundamentals. And if you know the fundamentals, you can go anywhere. with what you have. If you have the fundamentals, then you can have fun at any level of playing. It's not like you have to have the right combination to open the door to music. You have the combination. You are the combination to open music. Heck, I'm just making this up. This is what I usually just do when I'm talking to the cats. I don't usually do it just this much, but what the heck? I do it when I'm teaching, and that's when I feel so free, when I'm explaining how it all works, because I love knowing how it all works. I love finding out the fundamentals, that if you could just play this, and then this, which I would do up here, that can be a whole song, if you let it be. And only when you're ready, you can move one part and keep the rest the same. So I love those fundamentals, and then you can add rhythm. Riam says, what did it feel like now that you've finally given birth to your golden cage? That is, so for anybody who doesn't know, I started writing this piece when I was 19. I had this idea. I was sitting at the piano and I was like, oh, is my life going to be about searching for security or searching for freedom? And suddenly became these two characters, A and B, who then became Alpha and Beta, Althea and Boy. And it was a story I really wanted to tell, but I didn't know how to read and write music. So I went back to school to learn how to read and write music, and then I started playing the harp, and that took me off on this amazing adventure. Little did I know, I was actually living the story at that point. I was living the story of freedom. I was kind of living these two characters. So I wrote a version of the story, but then it took many years of trying over and over and over again to actually complete it and to produce it in New York and get it on film so now that everyone can see it. So Riam is asking me, what is it like now that it is out there? What not expect? Hello, why do you keep dropping out? Okay, I'm going to change the batteries in a minute. Maybe I'll, okay, anyway. So what I didn't know, did it just drop out again, you guys? I think I can hear when it does that. Back to you. Yes, back to me. So what I did not expect was that once the piece was finished, that all the themes would start opening up to me. And I just did a TEDx talk, I think it's going to be out at the beginning of June or mid-June or something like that, that's all about the questions that I had to answer in my own life in order to finish the golden cage. But what I never would have thought was that once it was out, it's almost like it was planted and it started blooming. And it's happening not just through me watching the show being completed, but all the conversations that I have with people. So I have conversations called Unlocking the Golden Cage, where I'm interviewing people about the themes of the show, but even just after every screening of it, we have a conversation where people bring up ideas or they bring up questions, and that opens more and more. So the Golden Cage has become a bigger part of my life now that it exists. And I can't even imagine what's going to happen in the next phase, because this fundraiser that we're doing pays for all the production and the making of the film and getting it ready to then offer to other theater companies and singers, so that many, 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 many other productions can happen. And so what it's like now that it is complete is that it is opening up for me, and it is opening the world up for me, and it is opening up more and more concepts. And I'm realizing how deep these themes are and how much a part of my life they are. And then as I'm doing this concert, I'm beginning to realize these themes are part of everything that I write. And then as I go to the academy and I work with the harpists in the academy, I realize this is something that I'm also teaching. It's all about, security and freedom. How do we feel safe enough to fly, basically? We feel safe enough to fly, and how do we do that together? And what is the human connection that opens that up? And I hope you heard all of that. Now let's see. Yes, that's right, Connie. Connie's saying, I love how it's helping other people realize their cages too. That is part of the beauty of not just this show, but it's part of this is what I do. I mean, stories with music, as we tell them, they show us where we're stuck, they show us where we can fly. And the Golden Cage is one example of that. Every song that I play, I think has those themes in it. And certainly what I teach in the academy is imparting that to others. Not just so that they can play my music, but so that you can create your own music. You unlock your cage, and then that unlocks it for others and others and others. And as you unlock your cage, you become a light that comes out of it rather than being held inside of it. So, Reham, thank you for the question. That is what it is like. And to be able to have these conversations with people about something that was in my head, secret, for decades, is so powerful. And now so many people are part of it, through donating to it or through, coming to the screenings. It's really an amazing experience. Yes, art should be healing. Hi, Mia. Yes, it's an amazing ripple. And I have it that as we tell our stories, there's an amazing ripple, no matter, whether it's a musical like The Golden Cage, or whether it's just a simple story that we tell others, especially if it's somehow that where we were stuck and we found freedom. So let's see, I'm going to see what time it is. Okay, great. All right. So I have some other requests. Now, if you requested tunes, in the last couple of hours or so, I may not have been able to grab them. We grabbed them last night. We're learning more about how to put concerts like this together, and I'm hoping I'm going to be doing more of them. Okay, so let's see. Wait. Okay. Oh, interesting. All right, I'm just looking at pieces that people requested. Okay, the Nightingale. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna try this. Oh, okay. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play Black Orpheus. That was a request, and I think it's really fun. So when I first started playing the harp, I was playing classical music, and then I discovered that I really wanted to play jazz. And one of the first pieces. One of the first pieces of jazz that I played. And I always loved Latin music. And I played Latin music on the piano as a child, as a kid, with my mother. But I loved this tune, Orpheus. This tune, Black Orpheus. And it knew about maybe 81 songs that I think are a little bit easier to play on the harp, jazz standards. And I know it's 81 because I made this PDF that's like 81 jazz tunes that are easier to play on the harp. And I wish I could say, go to 81 easy jazz tunes on the harp to grab that, but I can't do that because is, because I have not created that yet. I just realized something. When I first had the idea, okay, I'd love to try playing jazz on the harp, I decided to try to play the song that I could play on the piano the most easily, which was Girl from Ipanema. And I couldn't do it. It was just too hard. And I thought, well, maybe it's too hard to play jazz on the harp then. And then I tried to play Stella by Starlight, which is another really hard tune to play on the harp, certainly on the lever harp. And so when I started teaching other harp players, I realized one of the things here is we don't know what's hard. Other musicians might have us play something that they think is easy, but it's hard for us. And so just sharing, hey, try this. So this is one of those tunes. If you want to play jazz, this is a great tune to start with. And here's how you're going to know. You'll see me changing levers, but you'll see that I'm not changing that many levers. And on the harp, it's when we change key and change levers, that's what makes it really complex. So I'm going to recommend this song as a tune to start with if you want to play jazz. for many years, I made my living playing songs like that in dining rooms, and then I started playing with a bass player, and I started playing with a drummer, and then I started creating concerts. But it was such an amazing opportunity to get to play really low stress situations and get to play the same music day after day after day, and get to explore different ways to play it. And so it's just really fun. Thank you for asking me to play that again. Thank you. I think I might have wrote a jazz piece. Oh, excellent. It's about my cat. And yes, it shares the same title as my book, says Mia. And that is called Pumpkin, a Very Silly Kitty. Sounds like a great jazz tune. All right, so let's see. Let me take a look at the time. I want to also just remind everybody, I'm going to pull it up here again. I think we have about 10 minutes. I'm going to pull up this code here. So this, you can actually just point on at that, and that will let you donate. So this is the kickoff concert to the countdown of this fundraiser for the Golden Cage. And what's cool, you should definitely go check it out because there's a lot of fun perks. One of the fun parts of a crowdfunding campaign is that you get prizes. You know, when you donate, you get prizes. And you know, I want to play you a blues. So let me just get that set up while you guys are testing that out. All right. I haven't played this for a while, but I will play this in a second. Some people asked for the blues. Oh yeah, so okay, so this is a a countdown, and one of the really great things about right now is that we're just about 12, 13 days from the end of this campaign, and one of the things that's really exciting is that a group of donors has given $10,000 as matching funds. And what that means is that whatever you donate to the Golden Cage, it will be matched. They will match that $10,000 between now and the end of the campaign. So definitely give as much as you can so that we get those matching funds. And if you want to be someone to add to become part of the donations, then just get in touch with me. And you should, there's so many different ways to get in touch with me, but just give any one of them a try. But the easiest is just go to my website, hipharp.com. That's hip as in cool and harp as in the instrument. So just to make clear what I'm saying, go to that link and you can donate. And that link should also be in every post that I posted. And every time you donate, that will be matched. If you give $100, it will be matched by another $100. You give $250, it will be matched by another $50. And if you want to be part of the group of people who's creating that matching fund, or if you want a tax deduction, let me know, because I can let you be part of that. And that builds this and builds this and builds this. That is when Golden Cage goes out into the world, you become a part of it. And it is so fun. I think it's really fun to donate to a project, because then as you watch it develop in the world, you're like, I was part of that happening. So this song here, I'll take that off now. I'll take off the little badge there, but the link should be in every post that I post. So my mama, she told me, your crazy ways gotta stop. You gotta, I haven't played this song for a while. Let me try that again. Well, my mama, she told me, your crazy ways gotta stop. You gotta act like a lady, play like an angel. If you wanna get to the top, you gotta practice your Beethoven, and you'll never lose. I said, Mama, I don't wanna play Beethoven and Bach. I know they're really great guys, I don't want what they got. Mama, let me tell you the news. get your line. I wanna play the blues. Are you singing that with me? I wanna play the blues. I play the blues. Well, my daddy, he told me you're crazy like a loon. You better cool yourself off, tone yourself down. Why don't you play me a prelude? Because when you can ace that Wolfgang Mozart, you can just kick back and cruise. I said, Daddy, I don't want to play old Mozart and Liszt. I know they're geniuses. There's one thing they missed. Daddy, let me tell you the news. I play the blues. I wanna play the blues. I wanna play the blues. I'm gonna play a little. Well, my mama, she told me, you're crazy, we gotta stop. You gotta act like a lady, play like an angel. If you wanna get to the top, you gotta practice your Beethoven, and you'll never lose. She said, Mama, I don't wanna play Beethoven and Bach. I know they're really great guys, I don't want what they got. I don't want to play old Mozart and Liszt. I know they're geniuses. There's one thing they missed. I don't want to play Tchaikovsky or Brahms or Schubert or Schumann or the Chichester Psalms or Puccini or Rossini or Respighi or Ravel or Paco Bell. I don't even think that I could play Paco Bell very well. Those are the kind of guys I choose. I wanna play the blues. 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 I just realized something in the middle of that song. I realized that in Hip Harp Academy, which is where I teach creative harpists how to find their creative wings, teach daring harpists how to find their creative wings. We're coming to the end of one quarter, and we're just about to start another quarter where the foundation is the power of pattern. So right now we're learning all about grounded expansion. And starting in July, we're going to be learning about the power of pattern. And one of the things that the power of pattern is to learn the blues, because it is such a focused type of music. So if that's something that you are interested in, if you are interested expanding your creative wings, and if you do play the harp, take a look at Hip Harp Academy and let me know, because I can tell you secretly that right now we have a special code that can get you $500 off the Academy price. So if it's something that you've been thinking about, and one of the things that's really interesting about the blues is that it does not have to be done in a bluesy style. You can play music in a bluesy style. You can even play Debussy in a bluesy style. But you can also take the foundation of blues and you can play it in a meditative style. And I know that a lot of harpists are playing at bedside. And there's a whole part of this, the power of pattern, where there's a blues that's actually a meditative blues. I'm not sure that I can play it. This is actually a blues. So when you get down to the fundamentals, you can make music the way you are. When you get down to the fundamentals, you express yourself, and as you do that, you find out who you are. It's an exploration, it's a discovery, and I love when you do it with me. Can you hear the bird out there? I don't know if you can, but I can. It sounds like it's singing along, and I love when you sing along and play along with me. I love to break it down so we can connect in the fundamentals, in the fundamentals. So thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for the ways that we're connected and the ways that we expand together and bloom together and discover the fundamental beauty of life through stories with music, stories with music, stories with music, stories with music, my stories, your stories, stories that we tell, stories that we dream, stories that we long to know. Thank you for sharing it all with me. Thank you for being part of this life. Thank you for being part of my adventure, my exploration, and letting me be part of your life and your exploration and your adventure and your discovery. Your discovery. Your of you through stories with music, with music, with music, stories, 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 with music. Thank you so, so much for being with me today and being part of this countdown to the golden cage flying off into the world and this countdown to this fundraiser. Thank you for everything, every little bit that you donate. It makes all the difference, makes this possible. And thank you for being here, and thank you for telling your own stories. Thank you for being part of, whether you're part of the Academy or part of Harness Your Muse or part of being here. Thank you for being part of that adventure with me. I'll do one more concert later on tonight. So please tell your friends, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks so much to everybody who was here and all the beautiful, beautiful comments. I can't wait to go back and read them. See you soon.